I would like to introduce Wendy Goudie, dear friend and a beautiful soul.
Good evening. Love is all you need. Love conquers everything. With the current divorce rate in Canada sitting at 38%, I don't know if I fully believe that. Making it in a long-term relationship is hard, and I have advice. Now, it's not my advice. John and I have only been married for 9 years. We have a long way to go. But I do have access to the holy grail of relationship advice, and that is the wonderful folks that come to chair yoga classes. Get Bent has an entirely separate yoga schedule for aging bodies. 70 to 95 years in age, we have a 103-year-old that occasionally attends. We sit in a circle, we exercise hard, harder than you think, and we talk. And we talk about everything you are not supposed to talk about. We talk about religion, politics, whatever community kerfuffle is going on. We talk about raising children, a little bit about sex, and we talk about relationships. Best yoga classes ever. So we all know each other's stories. We're very close. And of course, with full permission, I have 3 wonderful couples that I'm going to introduce you to. And they have been in our community for years, and they clearly know how to make this work. They've already done it. So we start with Linda and Robert. This pair has been coming to yoga for years. Well, Linda's been coming, and Robert shows up when she says he has to. They were in class last year on their 50th wedding anniversary. And of course, they were the talk of it all. And we asked how they did it. And Linda set up in her very prim and proper Welsh way and said, well, sometimes it just becomes a habit that you can't break. But there's truth in that. So tip number 1 from Linda and Robert is make caring for your partner a habit. Create things that you know your partner loves, that makes them feel good, and make them a habit. So you don't even have to think about it, but it happens. And they feel great, and you're nurturing your relationship. Meet Fergus and Chris, married for 30 years. 3.5 years ago, Fergus had a severe brain aneurysm, of which only 3% survive. By the time he got to the phone to call Chris at work, he could no longer speak, and she could just hear him breathing. This took a tremendous toll on their relationship. Fergus was in the hospital for 7 months, feeding tubes, breathing tubes, finally to a wheelchair, and then finally now with a cane. And Chris was instantly responsible for this high-level care for her partner. So when I asked Fergus what his advice was for this presentation, without missing a beat, he said, marry a nurse. They do have advice the rest of us can listen to, though. Fergus is from Northern Ireland, and Chris is from England. Brexit is never discussed. And you do need to accept some topics. You have to let them go, even if you think you're right. Off limits, forever. Our final couple, Joe and Pete. Jopie from Holland and Petrus from Java. Married for 56 years. Joe and Pete used to live around the corner from John and I, and we would go to their house and help them with yard work and have dinners and great conversations with horrible homemade cherry wine. And we were there for dinner to celebrate our engagement, and of course we asked, how are we supposed to do this? Seriously, how are we going to be like you? And Joe pushed her plate back and wiped her mouth and said, young people today have no idea how to see things through. Would you date each other for 1 year? Well, at this point, we had been dating for 5, so we said yes. Well, what if one of you does something stupid and you hate each other, like hate each other? For 3 weeks, you don't talk. Would you be able to look at your entire year together, even though you had 3 weeks where you hated each other? Would you still consider it a good year? I said yes. And then she got real serious, real fast, got her arthritic fingers out and pointed them right at us and said, then if you want to be together for 52 years, you better be prepared to hate each other for 3 solid years. And you can't really argue with that logic. Because on your 52nd wedding anniversary, it'll have been a good life. So John and I put that in our wedding vows. We didn't agree to love each other forever. We didn't even agree to like each other forever. We just agreed that if it got bad, we'd only hate each other for 3 years. And it's actually been very relieving. So from the folks at Get Bent Chair Yoga, these incredible vessels of wisdom and experience and knowledge, the people that are already where we are so desperately trying to go, there are 3 very important tips to make it in a long-term relationship are: make it a habit to care about your partner, accept some topics are just never going to be discussed, and if you have a big fight, mark the calendar and give it 3 years. Thank you.